All right, so the fourth night is complete. We can officially now move on to 2022 now that the Phish have finished their 4-night run at the Garden, their New Year's Eve run, that is. And look at this, we got a Wilson down here. I often say I think Wilson is probably the best song they have to open with. Martian Monster would be in there, but then I always forget about Fluffhead. If you want the crowd to just erupt from the get-go, Fluffhead is the way to go. But this Fluffhead tonight, ooh boy, I'm not carrying on often about, Trey's flubs and this and that. But although Fluffhead, one of the best openers in the business, it got off to a rough start there. There were times when it was real bad. There were times when they pulled it together and it sounded awesome. The crowd going wild there. And then Mike's Hydrogen Week-a-Pog. It seems like now, more often than not, we're getting the traditional Mike's Hydrogen Week-a-Pog here. And, I hate to use the word standard with Mike's Hydrogen Week-a-Pog. Let me say that one more time. With Mike's groove here, but it sort of is, I feel like it's been a while. And maybe someone will probably correct me, perhaps, in the comments. But I feel like it's been a minute since one of these Mike's or Week-a-Pog really took off. I always prefer kind of Week-a-Pog there. Feel like if nothing else, it gets Mike Gordon going. And now we got Simple. Now things really got going right here now. If we got off to the rough start with Fluffhead, kind of getting into the groove here with Mike's groove. Mike was definitely feeling it by Simple. And then as we get through the Simple jam, starts to dive off into some dark, evil, just nasty sounding, nasty Simple. So we get into Egg in a Hole. That's where they were drifting off to, some of the sci-fi soldiers. And it worked in this one. And in this situation right there, it worked. I'm not the biggest fan of those songs, especially as you see what we got going on here. Bunch of legends in the first set. They sneak in a sci-fi soldiers on us. And first tube of some people may say first tube is a legend. I don't know about that. I don't know about those people. Those people could be chompers, be careful. Somebody's going around putting this in the Hall of Fame. Watch it. All right, so before we get to that, though, we got a Divided Sky here. Of course, the place goes bananas for the pause. I guess that's more appropriate, than What's the Use or The Man Who Stepped Into Yesterday. Go ahead and go crazy during the pause in Divided Sky. Why not? We get that late in the second set. And then first tube, as I mentioned, if Trey's wanting to rock it out, that's where you're going to go. First tube, getting it done there. So obviously the Simple Egg in a Hole, kind of felt like the turd in the punch bowl, but the Egg in the Hole Simple sandwich there, big highlight of the first set. Probably this whole deal here. And then we move over here to No Men in No Man's Land, kind of like it's Buddy Blaze On, always going to pretty much get it done. And this time, while, longevity doesn't necessarily tell the story of every jam, it ran long, probably definitely around the 25-minute mark for this No Men in No Man's Land. And then it drifts off into Caspian. And then, they seemed like it was just going to stay right within No Men for a while there, maybe 8, 9, 10 minutes into the jam, we were still into Type 1 territory. Then they slow it down, quiet it down. It wasn't this just big fiery rocker that No Men in No Man's Land often is. So then we get to Caspian Piper. These two kind of roll together well. At the beginning of Piper, I was a little concerned, Neither one ran too long either, about what you would expect, average now. Piper seemed a little slow there at the beginning. I was a little worried, maybe we've got a slow Piper now. Not the case. And then for me, maybe some people would differ, but the highlight of the second set for me was the Jibboo, Always Wanted This Way. Trey held a note in Jibboo. It was like, he held it way, 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 way longer than that. Though that was probably longer than the pause in Divided Sky. Two of the highlights of the evening, perhaps. Very little action there, but a lot of action, So the Jibboo jam, proving they can still get it done with that. And then Paige McConnell's Always Wanted It This Way. If they're going to play one of Paige's songs, that's one of the excellent ones to go with. They don't play a whole lot of Paige songs, but I love that one. If it's late in the show, maybe people, how about you not dancing to Jibboo? But if people weren't moving anymore, Trey got them going again. Paige got them going again with that. Then he sneaks in a Lonely Trip on us. Sneaks one of them in just about every night in here on us. Then Walls of the Cave, rocking out, much like First Tube did over here, getting it done to end the set. And then the encore, They've been stepping up the encores since, I guess, late last summer, early in the fall, was it? And then we got Wilson, Bowie, and then more, unfortunately. But the Wilson, boy, we had a rowdy crowd for the Wilson chant, boy. You coming through even on the webcast. And then Bowie, no confusion with the other night having Maze being played. Everybody knew it was Bowie. And then he has to hit us with a more. Hell, I had time, get a little more. Would have been perfect. But hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, man? First tube, walls of the cave, more. Trey was feeling it. He was feeling the chomper syndrome tonight. That was rough, but then things really got going. This was evil. Dare I say evil fish. It was nasty. Then this was awesome. This was maybe my favorite part. Some will probably disagree. People are like, got a Jibboo. Hey, man, they got a Jibboo down. How can you not love Paige McConnell? All right, guys, boom. Thanks for tuning in. If you were here all 4 nights, I appreciate it. And we will see some fish soon. We finally got the makeup. The New Year's Eve run in the books. Thanks to the Phish. Thanks to Madison Square Garden. Thanks to that big blue whale. Boom. And the guy, the drone operator. He's a good guy, I heard.